Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be doing a full face of Chantecaille makeup. I have a lot of their products that I've owned for a little while, but they did send me a few new things to try out as well. So I figured we could just do a full face of Chantecaille today. They're also doing their Black Friday sale right now. It's 25% off the website. So I thought this would be a good time to do this, and I'll kind of share my thoughts on the products that I have, and we'll try out a few new things as well. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on my channel. I would love for you to subscribe, and let's just get into the video. All right, we'll get started with the base. I've already done SPF and all of that, so let's get into the two base products. So one of them I've had for a while. I purchased this quite a while ago. I forget how long ago it was. But this is the Future Gel Foundation. This is actually in my everyday makeup drawer this month. This is so beautiful. It's I would say light to medium coverage. You do kind of have to build it up a little bit to get to that medium coverage for me. It's beautiful though. It's very hydrating and it's kind of a gel texture. So it's very moisturizing on the skin. So I wear the shade Alabaster in this, and I'll kind of swatch it for you on my hand. So that is the shade Alabaster, but hopefully you can see how like hydrating that formula is. But that I've used a ton, so we're not going to use that today. But I do recommend this if you're looking for light medium coverage. Now they sent me this to try, which I've never tried this before, but I've always been curious about it. This is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer from Chantecaille. I have the shade Bliss. I just kind of guessed on the shade. I wasn't really sure. And I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I think this was recently kind of reformulated and new shades were added, I think. And this is one of the newer shades, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna use this today because I've obviously never used this before, but I've heard really good things. So it's in a tube, and this is titanium dioxide based, so it's a mineral SPF. It's only SPF 15 though, so don't use this as your only form of SPF, please. But let me swatch this. Ooh, it feels really nice. So it's a little bit, or it is definitely thinner feeling to me in terms of the texture. So that is the shade Bliss, which actually that looks like it's gonna be a good shade, just looking at the swatch, but it's a lot thinner. You can tell it doesn't have as much pigment, and it doesn't feel quite as hydrating as the Future Skin Foundation. Okay, to apply this, I might just kind of squeeze it on my face because honestly, I like to do that with this type of product that comes in like a squeeze tube bottle. And then I think I'm gonna try this brush today to use for this. This is the N17 from BK Beauty and Nikila Rose. Okay, yeah, so definitely as I'm applying it, a much like thinner formula than the Future Skin. I think I smell like a little bit of a smell, but it's not anything like really strong. It's like a very slight floral smell. I would say the coverage level looks pretty typical of a tinted moisturizer. I do think it has a little bit of coverage though. It's not like incredibly sheer where you don't get anything. It's definitely a little bit more sheer than this one, which makes sense. This shade might be a little bit warm for me, but it's okay because we're gonna use concealer and we'll kind of balance that out. All right, so there it is applied. So I would say, yeah, light coverage. The shade's a little bit deep and a little bit warm, but we'll fix that with some concealer. But in terms of how it looks on my skin, looks really nice. It's definitely not as glowy as this, which I kind of suspected that just from swatching the two. This one looks a little bit more on the matte side. Not matte like dry matte. It just looks a little bit more like smoothing on the skin, whereas this just gives your skin a very plump, hydrated look. But I mean, it looks really nice in terms of like how it's sitting on my skin. I do not have, I think they have a little concealer pen from Chantecaille. I don't have that. So I'm gonna do concealer on my own, and then I'll come back and we have some other things. They did send me their powder, some eye things, a cream blush, and a few other things as well. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, I just did some concealer and corrector. So I used these two today, Tower 28 and Cali Ray. Now, they did send me their powder. I've never tried this before. This is the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. So it's a finishing powder, not really a setting powder. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna use a different powder or if I'm just gonna use this like a setting powder. So this is the shade Light Medium. Looks like this. It has like the same print on it that the bronzers have, which I also have the bronzer. So I have this, but I also have this bronzer that I bought a long time ago. This is the Real Bronze in the shade Serena. I think I will apply a little bit of this kind of on the perimeters of my face before we use the bronzer, just in case it goes on patchy. I really don't want it to. I'm going to use this really large 105 brush from BK Beauty. And I'm just going to kind of lightly tap over the perimeters of my face just to make sure my bronzer goes on well. It's hard to really tell much when you just do the outer portions of the face, so we'll look a little bit closer when I set this area. But this is the bronzer. Now this was like a limited edition one that they did, I don't know, like a year or so ago. So this packaging I don't think is available anymore, but you can still get the bronzer. I believe the bronzer comes in 2 shades. This is the lightest one, which is Serena, so it looks like that. It's warm, but it's not super, super orangey warm, which I like. And this powder formula is really nice. It's very smooth, kind of like a gel consistency. Honestly, kind of reminds me of like the House Labs bronzer a little bit, if you're familiar with that one. That's kind of what this one reminds me of. I'm just going to use this brush. This is the Hourglass Veil brush. I'm going to use the larger side. So you can see it's a really, really nice color. Oops, my hair is caught. It's a really nice color, adds some warmth without being like really, really orangey. But I also like this formula because it's kind of, it has like a little bit of a sheen to it. It's not like glittery, but I don't know if you'll be able to see from the swatch, but it's not like a flat bronzer formula. I believe the other shade from Chantecaille is called Goa, and that one is a deeper shade, and I want to say that one is more red toned. I don't own that one, but when I've looked at it before, I want to say it has more of like a red base to it. I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush now, and I'm gonna go into this part of my hairline right here. This is something I do quite a bit actually. I don't ever really show it on camera, but it's because of the way my hair grows. It kind of grows in a way that doesn't allow a lot of product to get right up at my hairline. So sometimes that really bothers me when I'm editing. So I try to go back and like fix it, or to like use a smaller brush and try to get it up in there. But I don't often show that step. All right, moving into blush. I have a blush that I purchased a while ago, back when I purchased the foundation and the bronzer. This is just their powder blush, and this one is the shade Laughter. So it looks like this. They're really, really tiny, which I was kind of caught off guard with that when I bought it the first time, because they're very expensive, and well, this brand is more on the expensive side, and this is really, really tiny. So this is it compared to the bronzer. Obviously, blush is not something that you go through super quickly. So it's not like you would run out of it super quick, most likely, but I don't know. I do wish that they were a little bit larger. I'll swatch this shade that I have for you. So again, this is the shade Laughter, and this one is kind of a peachy pink. It's a really pretty shade. Honestly, these are nothing special in my opinion. They're expensive and there's nothing, they're not bad, but I don't see anything that makes me think, oh yeah, this is worth spending extra money on and it's better than a lot of my other powder blushes. So that's just my opinion. I don't think they're bad, but I don't think it's like, you know, a must-have product personally. But they did send me something I have not tried. So I'm going to use this today. This is the Hydrating Cheek Gelee, the Gel Cream Blush. So let's test this out. Hopefully it's okay over like the bronzer. I typically will apply liquid or cream blush over powder, but some formulas don't do well with that, but hopefully this one is okay. So it looks like this. It's in like the same tube as this, just smaller. And this one is the shade Happy. Okay, yeah, so this one is more of like a true pink compared to that other blush I just showed you. So this is shade Happy. So you can see it's definitely a different tone. This one's a little bit more cool toned pink. This one's warmer, more of like a corally pink. This one obviously also has a lot of glow in it, as you can see there. So I'm gonna use a clean 109 brush from BK Beauty, and I'm gonna kind of grab it off the back of my hand and really work it into the brush and then just tap it on. I really like this color. It's like a true kind of like baby doll kind of color. So there is Happy. I really, really like that shade. Ooh, and it looks actually really nice over the powder, which is kind of 50-50. Sometimes formulas do, sometimes they don't. That one looks nice. Definitely on the sheer side for sure. I'll add a little bit more. I didn't put a ton on the back of my hand the first time. And I want to say these come in like 3 shades maybe. Okay, so there is a little bit more added on top. I like that a lot. That's like right up my alley with blush for sure. And it's really easy to blend because it's not super pigmented, which is nice. And it does leave like a little bit of a glow behind. Hopefully that will pick up on camera. It's actually kind of nice adding a liquid or a cream blush over like powder bronzer because it kind of brings back the life to your skin. Sometimes when you apply powder and powder and powder and all powder products, you kind of lose a little bit of like the life in your skin. So I like doing this actually with formulas that it works with. All right, yeah, the blush is a definite win for me as of right now. I really, really like how that looks for sure. If you like a lot of pigment and you don't like a glow, you definitely won't love this formula. If you do, these are nice. This is really nice. All right, let's do a little bit more of the powder. Honestly though, my skin looks pretty smooth. That Tinted Moisturizer almost has like a little bit of a blurred finish to it. So I don't feel like I need a ton of powder. We're actually gonna use one of my new BK Beauty N14 brushes since I ordered 3 and I already had 1, so now I have 4. One of the things I really wanted to buy this for was to test for setting under my eyes. I don't know how this is gonna work since this is considered a finishing powder. So I just applied it to that side. From a distance, I feel like it really did kind of blur the under eye there. I actually don't know that I've heard anyone really talk much about this powder from Chantecaille. Let me know if you've tried it. I'm just gonna kind of go in the center of the face and I'm just lightly kind of going over that area. But honestly, my skin doesn't look like overly dewy at all, so I don't feel like I need a ton of powder. All right, I do not have any brow products or anything from Chantecaille, so I'm gonna do that quickly and then I'll be back and we'll move into eyes. I have a few things that I've owned for a while and then they sent me a few things, so I'm excited to play with some eye stuff, but let me do my brows first. All right, I filled in my brows and let's move into eyes. Like I said, I have a few products that I've owned for a while and then they sent me a few things. So I have two Mermaid eye colors. This is the one that I already had. This one is the shade Sylvie. This formula is so unique. It's like, it feels like a cream to powder. Like when you swatch it, I don't think it actually is. It has like a velvety texture. It's really, really interesting. But these are absolutely beautiful, and Sylvie is a really nice, pretty neutral brown. It's the matte formula. Now, this one I believe is the metallic formula that they sent me. This is the shade Starfish. So they actually say you can use these wet or dry, which I did not know that. So this is Starfish. It's like a really beautiful light plum. Yeah, so you can see the difference in finish here. So that is Starfish there, which is obviously more of like a metallic finish, and then Sylvie is the matte finish. But the matte finish still has like a slight sheen to it. It's not like super flat matte, but it's definitely not as like metallic looking as this one. So I have both of those. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I also own one of these already. This is the Cheetah eyeshadow. So these are all metallics and there's a bunch of different ones. They're all different animals. I have the Cheetah one, which I believe is one of the lightest color, I think. This one's like a true champagne shade. So that's it on my finger. These are really thin in consistency as opposed to the Mermaid eye colors. Those feel a little bit thicker, a little bit creamier. These feel just thinner, almost like topper feeling. You know how eye toppers typically feel kind of light and airy? That's kind of what this feels like, but they're not necessarily toppers. They have more of a base pigment to them. But that is the Cheetah color, which I love because it's neutral and it goes with everything. But then they did send me another one. So this one is the Rhinoceros. And this one is a sophisticated olive, which I do love olives. So I'm excited to swatch this one. So this is what the outside looks like. And oh yeah, look at that, so pretty. I do love an olive, oh yeah. So that's the Rhinoceros. Okay, so that's the Rhinoceros there. Cheetah is up there, and then the mermaids are in between there. So the Rhinoceros, it's like, it's green, but it also has like a gray hue to it. It's really interesting. I don't have anything like that, so I'm really excited to have that now. And then the other eye product I do have came out earlier this year. I've shared this in a video before, but this was the trio, the Cheetah trio. So this one has two mattes and a metallic shade in here. They actually, I purchased this palette and then a while later, they ended up sending it to me. So I actually have an extra one of these that I'm gonna give away to one of you that watches this video. All you have to do is comment on the video and I will choose somebody. So if you wanna win this, leave a comment on the video. But this I absolutely love. I've already used this quite a bit, and this formula is different than the others. So the two mattes are just like your basic powder matte formula. They're really nice, really buildable, easy to blend, but they're not the same formula as the previous two. And then the metallic in here is very sheer, but it's really, really pretty. I'm gonna swatch it for you. I usually use it as like a topper. I don't know how well you'll be able to see there, but that is the metallic shade in the Cheetah quad. Then the two mattes are right there. But as you can see, I mean, this is a very Blair Color Story. So I do love that as well. I'm probably not going to use that today just because I've used that quite a bit. For the eyes, I just applied a little bit of this eye primer from Rare Beauty just because I don't want my lid color to interfere with these shades at all. So I just kind of evened them out with that. All right, so we're gonna start with Sylvie. I'm gonna use this MAC 217 brush. And I'm gonna start with this on the lid and just kind of blend it upward. This is a great one and done shadow if you like just really neutral, easy types of colors. This color is really pretty. Like you could do that and be done, honestly. But this formula is incredible. It is so incredibly easy and just the texture is so buttery feeling. I don't know how to really describe the texture on these, but they are absolutely beautiful. All right, so we've got Sylvie down. And then what I kind of wanted to do is take Starfish, which is the new one that's like a purple. And I'm gonna try using this as liner since they do say you can use them wet. I'm gonna try it because I've never tried that before. So I just sprayed my brush with the MAC Fix Plus. And I'm gonna use this 210 from BK Beauty. And I'm just gonna lightly apply that kind of like messy eyeliner. Okay, that's not working great. Wonder if I need a different brush. All right, I'm gonna switch to a Rephr 03 and I'm gonna try it dry. Yeah, so it definitely works better, I think, with this Rephr brush. Yeah, I definitely think this picks up better with the Rephr brush for sure. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to that 217 we used earlier and just kind of blend out this edge over here. So these shadows are more on, you know, the sheer side, so you're not gonna get like a ton of intense pigment with this formula. It's more of like a muted type of formula. You can definitely build it up a little bit, but they are more sheer, I would say. I love the color of Starfish, this really nice purple, especially if you have green eyes. This color is really beautiful. I'm gonna switch to a really tiny brush. This is a Rephr 13, and I'm gonna go back in with Sylvie, which was that first shade that we used, and I'm gonna kind of add some more of this shade right here. This is something I learned from the Makeup by Mario masterclass. I went to it at Sephora this year. This is something he talked about, and he's so right. He was saying that a lot of people neglect this area right here, this inner eye, and it looks a lot better if you put shadow there. So that's not something that I typically do, but when I think about doing it, I like to do it because I do think it really makes a difference. Something else I do a lot if I want to like really diffuse something is I'll take whatever powder I use. So I'm going to use this Chantecaille finishing powder and like a clean blending brush and go over the shadow again, and that always just kind of diffuses it even more. You definitely don't have to do that, but I do like doing it a lot because y'all know me, I like really subtle, diffuse, kind of blown out eye looks. I'm gonna take that MAC 217 now, and I'm just using what's left on the brush and putting that on the lower lash line. And then I either want to use this or I want to use the topper in the Cheetah palette. Honestly, I might use the topper in the Cheetah palette first. So I'm going to take that on my finger And I'm gonna kind of leave my eye open and just tap it on, kind of all the way up. Because this is more of kind of like a taupey brown. It's really pretty. And then the last thing I'll do is I'm gonna take the Cheetah shadow and I'm gonna pop a little bit of that in this inner corner of my eye right here. All right, I do not have an eyeliner from Chantecaille, but I did just apply a little bit of my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in the shade Fig to my waterline. Just a little bit to the upper waterline right here. But I just curled that eye and I'm excited about this. They sent me their Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. I wanted to try this for years, truly. But of course the price kind of always kept me from it. But I've heard really good things about this. So this is what the tube looks like. It's kind of like a grayish gunmetal. Looks like a nice wand, pretty standard, just like straight across wand. Faux Cils Longest Lash creates the super volume of the original Faux Cils mascara with additional peptides that help build stronger, longer lashes. Simply apply like a normal mascara. For continued use, natural lashes appear longer and fuller. Okay, definitely a drier feeling formula. I don't feel like it's adding a ton to my lashes with that first coat. Feels definitely on the dry side, but I felt like I was having to go back in over and over and over to really coat the lash because it didn't feel like I was getting a ton of mascara to begin with. But maybe this just works better with additional coats. Okay, so I can definitely see more with the second coat. All right, so there is 2 coats on that side. Definitely looks pretty good with the second coat. The first coat I was kind of underwhelmed by, and I don't know, I mean, it looks nice. I don't know that it's like the result is something I've never seen before in a mascara. Let's do the other eye. Let me know if you've tried this. I feel like I've seen pretty good reviews on this over the years, but I'm curious if any of you have tried it. It could also be that this is one of those formulas that needs to be open for like a week or so before you get like the true benefits from it. Some mascara formulas are like that. I'll see, like this, I wonder if I didn't have enough mascara on the wand the first time, because like this is adding a lot right off the bat. Maybe that first time when I pulled out the wand, it just didn't have enough on it. This mascara also doesn't come in brown, which y'all know I love a brown mascara, so. Okay, so like that eye applied way better, more quickly than this eye. So that makes me think maybe the first time, like when I first pulled it out, I didn't really move the wand around at all. Maybe I just didn't get enough on there, but looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. Have to see if it smudges, obviously, but it does look nice in my lashes. All right, last for lip products. I have a few things. I don't have anything brand new, but I have the 3 lip products from the Cheetah collection. All 3 of those were sent to me, and then I purchased this a while ago. This is the Lip Chic in the shade Patience, which is a really light nude. I don't use this a ton. The shade is pretty light, so if I do use this, I usually like to pair it with a deeper lip liner. But this is the shade Patience, so you can see this formula, the Lip Chic, is very hydrating, high shine, not a ton of pigment. So I have that, and then I have the 3 lip veils from the Cheetah collection that I'll swatch for you as well, which these are a little different. These have a little bit more pigment to them. They're not quite as sheer as the Lip Chics. So these are the Cheetah collection. So we have Acacia, which this one is beautiful. I've worn this a lot actually. Then we have Desert Lily, which is more of like a cooler rosy pink. And then we have Wild Senna, which is more of like a warmer peachy pink. First, before we do that, I want to apply some lip liner because I never skip lip liner. I'm gonna try this one from Tom Ford. This is the lip liner in 103 Irresistible. Okay, really nice color there. I'm gonna do Desert Lily from the Cheetah collection. Yeah, I think that color pairs the best with the blush. That's a nice combo actually. And then I might even take a little bit of Patience, which is the lip chic formula, and just add a little bit of that as well. All right, that is everything. This is the final look. A full face of Chantecaille for the most part. Obviously I didn't have every single product, but most of what's on my face is from Chantecaille. But I wanted to kind of give you my top recommendations if you're curious about what I like the most. If I could only recommend like 3 products, I really love the Future Dew, but I really enjoyed the Tinted Moisturizer also. The shade is a little bit off for me, so if you use me as a shade reference, I would not get shade Bliss. This is just a little bit dark, a little bit warm. I probably should have gone with the neutral one. I think it's like shade 2, but I forget. It might be called Alabaster, which is what I have in this. I would probably choose this just because this is hydrating, which I like, and you can build this up to get a little bit more coverage, I think, than this one. But what I will say about this is this looks really smooth and almost blurring on the skin. So if you have oilier skin, you would probably love this because this is just very smooth. I was very surprised by that because I didn't use like a smoothing primer or anything, but it just laid on my skin really nicely, like noticeably smoother than a lot of other products. So I would probably say for oily skin, if you like a lighter coverage, this one. If you have more dry skin, you like a little bit more coverage, I would probably go with the Future Gel. But honestly, I like both of these. This is my first time using the Tinted Moisturizer, so I don't know about the wear. I will update it in the description box though. If you want to know after this video, check there and I'll leave like a little comment there. But this I use all the time and it wears beautifully. But these complexion products would definitely be one of my recommendations. The other ones would be, honestly, any of the eye products. I love the Chantecaille eye products because I like a softer, more subtle type of eye look. So if you don't like that, definitely you wouldn't love these most likely. This is going to give you a soft, kind of ethereal type of eye. My favorite of probably all of it, well, no, I have 2 top favorites for the eyes. I love Sylvie. Sylvie is just beautiful. If you want a one and done neutral eyeshadow, this one is beautiful. These Mermaid eye colors are just so nice and creamy and just easy. I love those, but then the other thing that I love so much is the Cheetah collection in general, but especially the little eyeshadow trio. I can't tell you how many times I've reached for this since I got it a few months ago. And like I said, I do have an extra one of these. So anybody that comments on the video, you're entered to win it. I'll pick somebody and I will send this to you since I have an extra one. And I love this so much. But I also love these. Like, we didn't use the rhinoceros one today. We did use a little bit of the cheetah. These are really, really beautiful. They're very expensive for a single eyeshadow, but they're beautiful. Part of the proceeds does go to helping these animals, which I love. I'm an animal lover at heart, so that speaks to me a lot. So I love these as well. I love and definitely recommend any of the eye products. And then my third recommendation, what really impressed me today was this. This is new to me, but the Cheek Gelee. I love this. Now, if you don't like a sheer blush, you're definitely not going to like this. If you don't like a glowy blush, you're definitely not gonna like this because you can see it definitely leaves a glow behind. I don't have any highlighter on or anything like that. So this glow is coming from this. But I personally love that. They're very sheer, so they're very easy to work with. You can build it up a little bit, but you're still not gonna get a ton of pigment. But I was pleasantly surprised by this since I'd never tried it before. I really, really enjoyed this. I do like a lot of Chantecaille's products, and I thought this video would be helpful since they are doing 25% off right now. You can use my code BLAIR25 and save 25. And that will go all the way through Cyber Monday until that Thursday, which is December 5th. So you do have some time, which is nice for 25% off because this is obviously a more expensive brand. So anytime you can save some money on it is a good thing. And I hope this video was helpful. I will have all the products that we used along with the shades and everything in the description box for you. And I'll also leave any updated like wear notes, especially about the tinted moisturizer today. I'll leave that in the description box. But thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.